So as promised, I'm back with another video for you today, and today I'm reviewing the latest release from the house of Christian Dior, Maison Christian Dior, or the Dior Privé collection, and this is Oud Rosewood. So this is the latest one in this collection, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Is it good? Does it smell great? What's it all about? So I'll let you know coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, today it's all about Oud Rosewood. I've been anticipating this one. This is the second one that was launched this year. Or maybe the last one was launched late December, because I remember they put it out late December in Neiman Marcus. It was the fruity one. God, I'm drawing a blank with the name of that one. But this is the latest. It just launched. I think it's making its way out at different stores. But I have it, and I'll let you know all about it. Do I really enjoy this one? You're going to wait to find out. But before we do that, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Before I start reviewing this one, I just want to let you know that I'm kind of tired of oud, okay? If it's an oud that's kind of like smelling like everything else, I'm tired of it. I don't need any more that smells similar to other fragrances. And what we got here is something that smells like other fragrances, in addition to a few other Dior fragrances. So I am tired of oud. Give me something original with oud and I'll be happy. But I've smelled so many fragrances that smell so similar, I don't need the same fragrances over and over again. And that's what we got with this fragrance, Dior Oud Rosewood from Maison Christian Dior, Dior Privé, LVMH. All of those companies. It's created by François Demachy. Pricing is $250 ml for $320. Get this though, they have not raised prices up here. These have been $320 for a while. So I had read that a lot of brands were going to raise their prices on fragrances, so we haven't seen an increase here, probably soon. It is considered an Oriental woody, and you know, it's oudy woody. Is it real oud? No, it's definitely not real oud here. It's a synthetic oud. But you know, they kind of have that thing down with this like oud, that synthetic oud that smells similar to other synthetic ouds. For notes in Oud Rosewood, we've got quince and raspberry in the heart, sandalwood in the base, rosewood, and oud. So what's this one all about? I just want to let you know right off the bat, as soon as I received it, you know, I was excited. I'm gonna grab it, spray it, see what it's all about. And I sprayed it and I'm like, that reminds me of purple oud. A few minutes later, I was thinking, no it doesn't, it reminds me of Santal Noir. And I'm like, wow, this is a combination of those two fragrances. Why are they giving us something that's already been done at Dior as a new fragrance? So that's what I thought initially. I was like, you know what, this is so similar to those two fragrances. It's almost like they've taken notes from each other and just combined them together to give us a new fragrance. I mean, François Demachy, are you getting too tired to create something really unique and original? I mean, I have to say, I have to be honest, it's very mass appealing kind of oud, but you know, you are going to get some animalic touches even though there's no animalic notes listed. There are some slight animalic undertones in here. So those of you that don't have too much experience with oud, and I'm not talking about the real oud because it's not real oud, this is the synthetic kind. If you don't have any experience with oud or animalic notes, you are going to pick that up. As soon as you spray the fragrance, you do get the fruity touches. But the fruity touches are really, really short-lived. I don't think they last too long, especially the quince. The quince is like one of the least prominent notes. And those of you that don't know quince as a fruit, my culture eats it. I love the smell of the fruit itself, although you really can't eat this. It's like an apple and pear combo. You have to basically cook it to eat this stuff, otherwise it's going to be so bitter and puckery in your mouth. But the fragrance of quince is amazing. It smells amazing. Once it's ripe on the tree, you take a whiff of that. It's pretty fragrant. So I don't get much of it here though. I get more raspberry than quince. And this part is when it reminds me of Santal Noir, because Santal Noir is a sandalwood, ambrette, and rose combo, and that actually itself reminds me a little bit of Ambre Nuit. So I get the fruitiness from the ambrette, which, you know, typically ambrette as a note has accords of fruits and booze. I'm getting the fruitiness from the ambrette here at the top. It reminds me of Santal Noir. Those of you that have not sampled Santal Noir, I recommend it, but it's really difficult to get. It's a Middle East exclusive, but it is sold in the UK. So if you have a chance, get it, because the sandalwood in there also reminds me of the sandalwood in here. So now we're left with the sandalwood is the heart. Now we're left with the base, and the base actually starts reminding me of Purple Oud. But when you compare Purple Oud to this, Purple Oud has a lot more freshness than this one. This one's a lot darker. There are no citruses. At the top, what we have are fruits, and in Purple Oud, I believe there are citruses. So there is a citrusy start with that fragrance, and here we have a fruity start. So I'm reminded of a lot of different Dior Privé, Maison Christian Dior fragrances with this fragrance. But in the dry down, as I said, it does remind me of Purple Oud. And to me, Purple Oud as a fragrance reminded me of Encre Noire and also Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Homme. So in the end, these are all smelling so alike. It's like, I'm done. I'm tired of these fragrances smelling like other fragrances. I feel like brands are just trying to outdo one another, and they're like copying from one another so that they can, you know, get the next best fragrance and all that good stuff. The other thing that I'm also thinking about, Maison Christian Dior didn't launch these many fragrances every year. Like this is in less than a year they've launched another fragrance. What's going on? It's like, they're definitely discontinuing fragrances faster now and launching fragrances faster. So they're just putting it out there, letting to see if it does any, you know, if people, you know, are drawn to it, they like it and all that good stuff. And then if they don't and it doesn't, you know, do much, and they can it, and then they give us something else that's also a little mediocre, just like you know, the last one. And here I'm remembering the name now, Rouge Trafalgar. So Rouge Trafalgar, I felt like, you know, even though it was not an original fragrance on its own, I smelled it. In fact, I even had a fragrance that was similar to it. I didn't even realize it was one from Bottega Veneta in their exclusive lineup. So it was a pomegranate one that I thought that it reminded me of one another. But I felt like it was a great offering, you know. It smelled great, and actually it wore great. On me, it smells phenomenal, and I love that fruitiness and the green touches. And, you know, I liked it. But here, it's the oud thing again, and I'm getting burnt out on it. And especially when it starts smelling like other fragrances, it's like, you know, it's been done before. Give us something more original so I can say, okay, wow, I've never smelled this before. I'm happy now. But then I get something that smells like something I have or I've smelled before. Then I'm like, okay, do I really need something that's repetitive like that? Now, one thing I want to mention, those of you that are not as experienced as I am or has smelled as many fragrances as I am, you're probably going to find that this is going to be very original to you. You're going to be like, wow, this is great, all that good stuff. And I'm fine with that. It's fine. But when you get to that place, when you have smelled everything, you're going to be like, why do I have this? Why do I need it? I don't need it. There's other fragrances that I could wear that smell similar to this. And so that will happen eventually, but I totally think that if you are not as experienced and you have not tried as many fragrances out there in general, you'll find this to be pretty original. The other thing I want to mention is there's a couple of other things. They discontinued leather oud, although it's not really discontinued. They've just basically shelved it and brought it to the Paris store. That's the only place you can get it. Now that was ultra animalic. This is nothing animalic like that. This is actually a very wearable animalic fragrance, and the animalic parts are not so strong. That is like so animalic. It's like intensely animalic that when you wash it off, when you have it on you, it won't come off for a day at least. It's intense. It's strong. This one actually is not that strong. I mean, I felt like it wears very, very light. And finally here in San Fran, we're having a heat wave, and I'm wearing it in the heat. It doesn't even overwhelm me in the heat. So it feels like it's a lighter experience, even though we're dealing with oud. So that's another issue with this fragrance. It doesn't have the depth, even though they're giving us this like very, you know, the way they explain it on their website, like this like intense, you know, oud experience and things like that. The other thing I want to mention is, I'm going back to their oud fragrances. There's Oud Ispahan. This does not smell anything like Oud Ispahan. There's no rose in here, it's the fruits, and I feel like it's the ouds that balance this thing out, because otherwise it'd be leaning heavy on one side, you know, in the base, but the fruits on the top are basically kind of balancing it out. But even though you have the fruits, I feel like it's a little more weighty on the woody side rather than the other side. So it starts off pretty fruity at the top, but immediately it goes to the wood. So it's mostly a very woody experience, and Oriental woody, I don't know if I would call it an Oriental woody. That was what it said in the databases. I would call this one mostly a woody fragrance, because you don't have Oriental notes in here. You have oud, which is typically found in Oriental fragrances, but Oriental fragrances typically have vanilla, resins, and things like that, and this one does not, except for the fruits at the top. Anyway, those are my thoughts for Oud Rosewood. You know, I'll say this again, it's not something I would rush out to buy. If you have experience with a lot of fragrances, I wouldn't. But if you can't sample it, buy a sample somewhere or a decant to test it out. But if you're new and you haven't really had the experience I have, then I think you should definitely check it out and see. Again, buy a sample or decant to test it out and see if you like it. But for me, with all my experience, I feel like this is a dud. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Dior's Oud Rosewood. Have you guys tried it yet? Do you like the idea of this fragrance? Do you think it's repetitive? Have you compared it to other fragrances? Please do let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Otherwise, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.